The price of awareness, as Jean-Paul Sartre so astutely observed, is always despair. Incidentally, my beloved maternal aunt, Hetty, rather liked all that sort of thing. Culture, art, you know, being somewhat Bloomsbury by temperament and inclination. Indeed, rumour has it that she consorted in a covert tryst with Vita Sackville West, no less, throughout the early 1930s, much to the vexation of her husband, Harold Nicholson, who only found out some time later. And there was a right-out stink about that, I can tell you. And she always mused. Sounds like the Doom Show. Always mused. The Neddy Seagoon leaving party. Always mused. With unbridled affection about dear Virginia, Vanessa, and Duncan, of course. No surnames needed, I'm sure, in such elevated company. But that's another story. Any rate, I eventually enrolled at the Central School of Arts and Crafts in London, or Central St Martin's, as it's known today, as a youthful 20-year-old. Hard to believe, I know. But if one lives, one grows old. If you know of any other way, see me after the show. Please. Anyway, where was I? Oh my God. As a youthful 20-year-old, wide-eyed and brimming with optimism. Nick, or Nicholas, as I prefer to address him, unbeknownst to me, oh my God, I'm drying up. Unbeknownst to me, we only met sometimes later and just passed through. He had been studying history, I believe, prior to that at Oxford University, and had been awarded a further 3 years of study by way of dispensation for his services in Korea, or was it the Malay insurrections? Something such thing, anyway. I know he would agree with me that it was all very different in those days. For a start, all the lecturers were notably eminent people, unlike this motley crew. Morris Kesterman, whose daughter Sarah became such a fine actress, Hugh Stanton Blair, Cecil Collins, Thelma Hobart, she of the splendid Thelma Hobart Gallery in Holton, David Houghton, Mervyn Peake, of Gorman Gas fame, William Crozier, and many others. All of them afforded, in due course, highly respectable obituaries in the quality broadsheets. Well, that's not quite true, actually. Apparently, one of them is still alive. Hard to believe, really. Defies the laws of nature. Even Grandman Moses never lived that long. Must have received 2 telegrams from the Queen. Naturally, the lecturers never fraternized with the students. Well, certainly not in college, anyway. No, that was way beneath them, and they tended to ruminate together in corners of a fine claret, well away from the shop floor. Any meaningful tuition was conducted in bohemian-type bars, such as the French, and Coach and Horses, or all-day drinking establishments, such as the famous Colony Club, all based in Soho. Seminar rooms 1, 2, and 3, if you like. For the student body, it was the most enlightened, liberal, and cultivated education one could wish for, and even to this day leaves one with an unquenchable thirst. Read into that what you may. A little verbosity now, if you don't mind. I do like verbosity. Well, that's if you haven't already noticed. Oh dear. Anyway, looking back on those formative years and one subsequent ride in the trenches, fine art students more than any consistently dumbfound me. Something about their propensity for diversification, transformation and deviation, one suspects. Sounds a bit like that Radio 4 panel game. Just a minute for you slow ones. Anyway, no, seriously, they do have this remarkable ability to transform, transmute, transmogrify, mutate and cross-dress. Steady, Stuart. Often achieving outcomes way beyond, outside and unrelated to their predetermined modus operandi. In short, what is now termed transferable skills. which I have to confess, I erroneously believed to be a euphemism for theft. It's good. Transferable skills. Theft. Anyway. Those contemptible little yobs that ransacked my place last year certainly had it in spades. But just to emphasize the point, and to return briefly to my student days, there was Caroline Coon, who founded Relate, of which many of you would be familiar with, I'm sure. Such bunkum for so long, to so many, when clearly disenchanted with the Hoe Valley shooting match. Well, it's quite simple, really. With 3 rapacious ex-wives and assorted feckless brats to support, with countless grandchildren scattered among our finest seats of learning, one didn't really have much choice. Play up, and play the game, as they say. Is that right, Phil? Where is he? And of course, anything to keep that proverbial wolf from the door. And of course, there was the additional bonus of the rather attractive holes on offer. One did have one's little Bolto secreted away in the Dordogne, naturally to decamp to every summer. Is anyone a drink? I need a drink. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Hello? No, I'm fine. No, really, thank you. No. Oh, yeah. No, that's very kind of you. No, but it won't be necessary, really. Look, I'm going to have to cut this short. I'm having a little soiree with a few old friends of mine. Yes, okay, thank you, bye-bye. Yes, bloody things. Age concern. Inquiring if I needed a home visit next weekend. Actually, it was a rather coquettish little floozy pops in. But those days are long gone, unfortunately. You know, it's very strange growing old. Very odd. I don't know why, but one seems to progressively become more interested in food than sex. Why should that be, I wonder? That's possibly some sort of tactile, sensual compensation thing. Actually, point of fact, my dear lady wife and I are seriously considering having a mirror installed above the dining room table. Known to the 3 students, head prefect from the high school down the hill. That's Plymouth University to the uninitiated, who reluctantly drops in one day a week to keep a jaundiced eye on the miscreants. What a thankless task. I have it on impeccable authority that the poor fellow awakes every Friday morning with an almost